Hello and welcome again to Business News Updates, brought to you live from Union Television. I am your host, Musa Christopher, with the Business News Update. Coming in on Monday, we have a set of new gainers, set of new people topping the list for gainers and, of course, for losers. And we do not just have for Monday, we have from Monday through to Friday. Coming in on Monday, we have UBA, FBNH, JPOL Gold, Fidelity Bank, and Owando to open, with UBA starting at 20.45 and to close at 20.50. Also to gain at 0.05. Also we have FBNH to open at 17.8 and to close at 18.10. Also to gain a total of 0.3. Then we have JPOL Gold to open at 1.27 to close at 1.39 with a gain of 0.12. Also we have Fidelity Bank to open at 8.45 and to close at 9.00 with a gain of 0.55. And finally, on Monday's gainers list, we have Owando to open at 8.8 to close at 9.30 with a gain of 0.85. And for losers, we have IBTC, Jay's Bank, Chi, that is Consolidated Hallmark Insurance PLC, UBN, and ICO Insurance. Well, Stanbic IBTC opens the Friday's top decliners list with 75 and to close at 70.00, I beg your pardon, with a loss of -5. Also, Jay's Bank to open at 1.57 to close at 1.54 with a loss of -0.03. Also, Consolidated Hallmark Insurance PLC to open at 1.09 and to close at 1.07 with a loss of -0.02. Also for Tuesday, we have FBNH, Fidelity Bank, JPOL Gold, Jay's Bank, and GT Co on our top 5 gainers list for Tuesday. To open, that FBNH opens at 18.1 to close at 19.35 with a gain of 1.15. Also Fidelity Bank to open at 9 and to close at 9.40 with a gain of 0.4. Also JPOL Gold, I beg your pardon, to open at 1.4 to close at 1.52 with a gain of 0.13. And Jay's Bank to open at 1.54 and to close at 1.55 with a gain of 0.01. And then finally, on our gainers list for Tuesday, GT Co to open at 35.3 to close at 35.60 with a gain of 0.3. Also to open our top decliners list, we have Chi, that is Consolidated Hallmark Insurance PLC, Omatech, Sterling Bank, ICO Insurance, and UPDC. Well, to start with, Consolidated Hallmark Insurance opened with 1.07 to close at 1.01 with a loss of -0.06. Also, Omatech opened at 0.57 to close at 0.52 with a loss of 0.05. Sterling Bank also opened at 3.58 to close at 3.50 with a loss of -0.08. Also, ICO Insurance opened at 0.75 to close at 0.72 with a loss of -0.02. And then finally, for our top decliners list for Tuesday, we have UPDC to open at 1.31 to close at 1.21 with a loss of 0.1. For Wednesday, we have our top 5 gainers, that is FBNH, UBA, Unilever Insurance PLC, ICO Insurance, and JPOL Gold. For Wednesday's opening, we have FBNH to open at 19.35 and to close at 19.45 with a gain of 0.10. UBA to open at 20.35 to close at 20.75 with a gain of 0.15. Universal PLC, I beg your pardon, to open at 0.22 to close at 0.24 with a gain of 0.01. And also ICO Insurance to open at 0.70 to close at 0.79 with a gain of 0.05. And then finally, for our top gainers on Wednesday, we have JPOL Gold to open at 1.67 to close at 1.67 but have a huge gain of 0.15. Also moving to Wednesday's losers, we have Fidelity Bank, Unity Bank, Chams, UPDC, and Owando. Owando opened with 9.60 to close at 9.35. UPDC opened with 1.11 to close at 1.09 with a loss of -0.10. Chams opened at 2.19 to close at 2.02 with a loss of -0.10. Also, Unity Bank opened on on Wednesday with a total of 1.00 to close at 0.93 with a loss of minus 0.07. And then finally for Wednesday we have Fidelity Bank to open at 9.45 to close at 9.10 with a whopping loss of minus 0.30. Moving on to Thursday, now we have J. Paul Gold, we have UBA, FBNH, Fidelity Bank and Universal to open at 0.24, that is Universal, and to close at 0.25 with a gain of 0.01. Also we have Fidelity Bank to open at 9.1 to close at 9.50 with a gain of 0.4. Also we have FBNH to open at 19.35 and to close at 20.00 with a gain of 0.65. Also we have UBA to open at 20.75 and to close at 20.85 with a gain of 0.05. And then finally for our top 5 gainers for Thursday, we had J. Paul Gold to open at 1.83 to close at 1.83 with a gain of 0.16. Also for Thursday, we have Jay's Bank, Chams, TIP, ICO Insurance and Regal Insurance to open at 0.35 and to close at 0.32 with a loss of minus 0.03. Also we have ICO Insurance to open at 0.77 to close at 0.73 with a loss of minus 0.04, I beg your pardon. And also TIP to open at 1.07 to close at 0.97 with a loss of minus 0.1. Chams to open at 2.11 to close at 2.00 with a loss of minus 0.11. And finally Jay's Bank to open at 1.64 to close at 1.60 with a loss of minus 0.04. And then moving on to Friday, our top 5 gainers, which are J. Paul, FCMB, Chams, PZ and Omatech. Well, J. Paul opened with 2 to close at 1.98 and also to gain a total of 0.15. Also FCMB opened at 6.4 to close at 7.00 with a gain of 0.6. Chams opened with 2 to close at 2.08 with a gain of 0.08. And also PZ opened with 21.05 to close at 23.00 with a gain of 1.95. And finally for our top 5 gainers for the week, we have Omatech to open at 0.6 to close at 0.64 with a gain of 0.4. And finally for our top decliners for Friday, we have UBA to open at 20.05 to close at 20.75 with a loss of minus 0.05. We also have Fidelity Bank to open at 9.5 to close at 9.15 with a loss of minus 0.35. We also have GT Code to open at 35.9 to close at 35.70 with a loss of minus 0.2. Also second to the last, we have ICO Insurance to open at 0.73 to close at 0.72 with a loss of minus 0.01. And finally we have Cortex to open with 2.29 and to close at 2.20 with a loss of minus 0.9. And then we move on to the exchange markets, where we have our dollar, which took a significant gain to buy at 964 naira per dollar to be sold at 965 naira per dollar. Also the naira to pounds exchange rate, naira is now 1,184 to 1 pound and to be sold at 1,185 naira per pound. Also the British euro opened to be bought at 10, that is 1,033, and to be sold at 1,034, just a slight difference of 1 naira. And also the Swiss franc to open, that is to be bought at 1,071 to be sold at 1,072. And then finally the Chinese yen to be bought at a CBN rate of 6.38 and to be sold at the same exchange rate of 6.39. And that will be all we have for you on Business News Update. I am your host, Musa Christopher. Do well to like and follow us on all our social media platforms displayed on the screen. Till we come your way, same time, same station, I am your host, Musa Christopher. Enjoy the rest of your day.